Welcome back. Adventures, life lessons, and some reflection. Today is about Italy and deep work. So I arrived in Italy and was warmly greeted by Stefan, one of my old friends. He'd asked me to wear swimming togs on the plane, and I was a bit surprised, but was very happy to be taken straight to the beach. He took me down to Sorrento and we quickly found a spot, dove in and checked out one of the small islands, big rocks just off the coast, climbed up to the top of it, jumped off, had a lot of fun. And then while we were swimming around the coastline, we discovered this little cave with a little beach in it. And while we were just sitting there chatting, I noticed there was a little sort of smaller cave off to the side. And so I went and investigated that and found out if you crawled all the way through, you came to a second entrance of the cave just above the water. So that was a good bit of fun. Then after very tiring swim, we of course took a siesta and then finished off the first day with Stefan driving me around the coast, which was just amazing to see. So I was once told that for Italians, food is love. And in this regard, while I was in Italy, I was really loved. Stefan and his wife Simona always had far too much food laid out for me while I was there. They started me off on the first night with pizza. It wasn't like the pizza I was used to. It's like I was in a different country, which I was. I think it was a better country for pizza. But the food that I love the most ended up being buffalo mozzarella. Stefan sourced some locally made stuff and it was just amazing. The texture was so juicy and the flavor was light but incredibly enjoyable. Loved it. They also managed to convince me to try coffee. Love the smell, and once that intense bitterness faded away, I love the aftertaste in my mouth. Highly recommend. So another thing I really enjoyed about Italy was the driving. Speed limits were clearly a suggestion. Sometimes we were rushing past other cars, other times they were rushing past us, and I was amazed to watch how relaxed drivers were as they squeezed past each other on tight corners. Parking was clearly an art form. And an art form that people made mistakes at. I found a fair few mirrors taped back onto cars, and sometimes it was really hard to find cars without scratches. I think the roads themselves were sometimes really interesting, just amazingly tight corners. So, enjoyed it. So, life lessons. This one started by my dad recommending me a book called Deep Work by a guy named Carl Newport. And the book is about learning to focus so that you can produce better quality work. And the book was kind of a bit of a revelation for me because I hadn't realized just how much the modern world with all of its notifications and instant email replies had got in the way of me being able to produce really high quality work. You know, back when I was younger, I could just put a sign on my bedroom door or, go find a meeting room and put a sign on that and say, I'm busy. And I'd have all the space I needed. But now often I'd need to be doing work on my device, and so it was a lot harder to avoid all these new notifications and everything. So learning that skill was something that really helped me. So how does deep work fit into Italy? Well, while I was in Italy, I took time off to put my phone, use awesome features like Do Not Disturb on my phone, and focus on stuff that I really wanted to get done. And guess what? The world didn't die without my immediate replies, and I was able to get things done faster and to a better quality than I definitely would have without the constant interruptions. Even if I didn't look at them, my brain would have been distracted by them. So my question to you is, if there's something that you feel could use your focus, either you want to get it done faster or you think, hey, if I really focused on this, I would just produce such greater quality in my work, then consider, how can I turn notifications off? And if you need to, still use your device. What features are there that you can use to block out things that are just going to distract you, that you can deal with later? Anyway, that's all for today. My next video will be about Croatia and balance. See you there.